That's very true.
Some people have got nothing to protect. Nothing.
Yeah, and they got nothing to.
That's so true. You know, my father always told me, like, when you move with different masks for different occasions. Yeah, so bad. Don't go sleep with dogs. You sleep with dogs, you get fleas. So you just have to weigh situations. There's some places where you go, regardless of how you're trying to maintain. Wale, Tukanama, Sele, and all that. By the time you're coming back, you've lost like 34 followers on your thing. So I was like, no, I'm done with this. So I'm a little bit more selective these days. You know?
Yeah, it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different. Whether be it the guys or the girls, especially, you know, that's one reason. And this is going to sound wrong, by the way. I'm just saying, putting this out there. In the diaspora, I tend not to want to like just be with Zambians a lot, because it narrows who I can be. Because let's say it's just an example, if we only connect with Dunna Reverse and we only connect with that song Yaka HH, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
and that's the only way we're connecting. There are many opportunities online. Some people are making money, some people are growing, some people have opportunities, but it's who are we showing up as? And if we are only found with people who they can only, to them what's real is acting a certain way, and when you act above that, it's like, oh, she thinks she's all that, or whatever it may be. Like, some of us are even blocking our possibilities.
That's true.
Rambi, you might not know, you might even be looking for a certain product, a certain service. Someone is very good in it, but you have no idea, because all you do is just fight.
Yeah,
that's
like,
so true. Yeah.
Like, for me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then there's some times when you just keep on going, like, to certain group of people, even just the way you process things starts being affected in some ways, and then you go back to where you were before, and then you become like a little bit limited, even just like the way you do things, and then yeah. So I've noticed that. Anyway, so yeah.
No.
So I noticed that like a month ago, I should say. So I used to go to this live, and then because I feel like, yeah, Kwambana and all that stuff, I was like, man, how did I get here? Yeah, so I've started being a little bit more selective, and yeah.
Yeah, it is tricky, because, you know, jokes aside, Zambians feel like family, and they are family, and sometimes you want to interact with the people who they're sitting, and it feels like home, you know, and you get each other. You like,
Yes.
like there are certain like inside jokes, like you really want to have that, but the price it comes with,
Yes, sir.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And then in their thinking, most people don't realize there's a price they're paying to this. Because, like you said, there are some places that if I stay a lot, even just lives, jokes aside, even like right now, if I go to a certain life, according to the way people are thinking, trust me, my brain I can't think like that. My brain goes down, dead, kaput, useless, foolish, you name it, I'm it. And I can see it. And afterwards I go back, I'm like, and sometimes it takes maybe I see a conversation and they say something, that's why I post a lot of crap. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I corner. I love our people, but sometimes the price is too high. The price is too high, and I'm saying this, and I know it rubs off people the wrong way, but it's too high of a price. Okay, I have Lindsay on the side. Hold on, let me see if she can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yay. Okay, so TikTok, I'm gonna mute you. You can come, go, but I'm gonna be live on Facebook as you're listening this side. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That was nice. Hey, Apostle, that was good. You take care. All right, Connie, that was good. Apostle, take care. We'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, so sorry, I had my TikTok going all this time and I still can't see you, but let's go. Let's do this.
You
I've
can't see me?
No, I cannot. Can you see me?
Oh my goodness, this is the weirdest, craziest thing. I can see me, but I can't see you.
I can see me too, but I can see you. But as long as I see Martina is watching. Martina, can you see Lindsay? Please type it and let us know. And can you see me? Please let us know because we've been trying to do this for good Lord. We've been trying to do this for an hour. Um so Martina, if you can see, because I see you there, if you can see me, let me know. I can see Pauline, I can see Lindsay, or both, whatever, just let me know. That is so crazy.
So crazy.
Frustrating a little bit, I must say.
Pauline, I'm wondering what I should do. I have a call I'm supposed to get on at 3:30, and maybe I could see if I could push it a little bit, or maybe like, what do you think? I don't know what to
Do the
do.
call, and then when you finish the call, message me, and then we could try and do this again.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, I'm gonna get off and I'll message you when I'm done.
Okay, got it, all right.
Okay.
Thanks, Martina. Hi, thank you so much. Oh, that's so helpful. So you say you could see both of us. I could only see myself. I couldn't see her, and she could only see herself. She couldn't see me. And this has been going on for the past 1 hour. 1 hour, 30 minutes. And now she has another call she has to do. So that's been interesting. So I was live on TikTok and I kept the live on TikTok and I was going to have it live as I was having the live here with her. Um, it helps also like release energy than trying to do something and it's not working. But I have to wait for her to come back again. On TikTok, if anyone wants to join, feel free. Maybe I have to switch phones. But if the problem was only on my side, that would be different. If it was only on her side, it would be different. Or maybe Facebook is doing an update. That could be it. Facebook might be doing an update. That makes sense. That does make sense. Anywho, I just lost the two people I had on my TikTok because they had to leave since I had to leave, and now I don't have to leave and I've lost the two people, but it's fine. Whatever. What are we doing now? If you want to join my TikTok live, feel free. The conversation I was going to go on Facebook hasn't worked. Oh, that was tricky. So I'm just seeing the message that was sent to me. I had a laptop. This is where I was supposed to have the conversation, but I just couldn't get it working right because I don't have the. Wait, I do have headsets, but it's the big ones. And if I'm going to have a video that I'm going to have on YouTube and Facebook, I didn't want to have those big headphones on. So, yeah, I chose the phone. But I see that even with a phone, I've had some struggles. So I was just talking about how sometimes we are surrounded by people who, for lack of better words, have nothing to lose. They've got nothing to protect when it comes to public image. And you know what social media has done? We come across people, places that we would have never met if it wasn't for social media. So there are different ideologies, different schools of thoughts that people may have, and because we're operating on different belief systems, different school of thought, different kinds of perceptions, I have found myself, like, as much, I do see many lives, and I do see some people from my country, but they're operating on a level where maybe they're always fighting, always arguing and stuff. Like, they have no understanding, some people, not everybody, by the way, discourse, like how to have a conversation with different people, what kind of things publicly you engage with, whether it's uplifting or it's degrading, whether it's something that adds to who you are as a being and growing as a person, or you having to play small. And the playing small, if it's just human beings connecting, that is good. But the problem is people are not even trying to connect through dialogue. It's about insulting each other, fighting. So I'm like, there are certain kind of conversations, especially even here on TikTok, and just, there are red pill people and there are red pill men, women, and there are red pill ladies, and they're hating each other. And sometimes you go to even a live where people they might have the semantics, they can speak well, articulate well, but if you really look at the thought behind that, maybe you'll find that they don't even have a point. They're just arguing to argue. And they're good at defending a word. And sometimes when someone asks something that maybe might be more meaningful or might have depth, they'll focus on the word, and they'll start arguing on the word. And instead of looking at the word to say, how do we understand this so we have context? No, they just argue to argue. So there are some conversations that are very hard to engage with and dialogue with. And just by joining different people and what they're saying, you can find that you are having to play at a level that is more to your detriment than that is more to your growth. And there are different things, like it is very tricky to navigate some conversations and some people. But if you have purpose, if you have drive, if you have what you want to do in life, you have to see things you are making yourself present for that will disqualify you for your actual desires. You have to have that awareness. When you understand some things we do and how it sabotages what you're trying to go for or what you're working on and towards, you're going to be more mindful. Even if something is very enjoy, like you enjoy doing something, you'll see, like, okay, I do enjoy this, but this is it won't take me where I want to go. And if you enjoy something that doesn't help you get to where you want to go, there are some things that are meant to be private and some things are meant to be public. But when some people don't understand that, they don't understand what's meant to be public, what's meant to be private. Public are things that push your image up there. Public are something that things that, it's also perception, how people perceive you. You may be wise, you may be mature, you may be whatever, but if people see you, it could be a guy, it could be a company. We're meeting different people here, but how you show up, some people put you in a box. Maybe that could have been your person, but you didn't show up as their person because you're acting some kind of way. So understanding perception is very important. Like, nobody's going to say, oh, I'm going to see what this person is about, when you're acting a fool, when you're always arguing with people. It's like, why are you arguing? If you really like to argue, I implore you to, like, get on debates. Learn how to argue. You can get on debates if you're good at talking and all that. that will be good for you. At least then maybe people can even see you, like, for lack of better examples or whatever, like a Candice Owens. Hey, Miss Praise, how are you? She's talking her crap, but then it's not a detriment to her as a wife and as a mother. And also the image, it's like someone who some people will look up to. But just arguing with everyone, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. If you want to join live, let me know. I was supposed to have this live with Lindsay. I'm live on Facebook right now, and I'm live on my TikTok. If you want to join, whichever way. Ooh, tired of sitting. My God. Hi, Miss Praise. How are you doing? I am tired of sitting. Okay, hold on. Let me stretch. Ooh, feels nice stretching. Ooh, Jesus. So, what I'm wondering, since I had a challenge coming on live before, I wonder if, since I was speaking to Zambia, let me just say something that I was thinking. I'm just going to say something that I was thinking. And what I'm going to say is going to sound very offensive to some people, and that's okay. It's just a thought. Okay, I need to spray this or style it or something. Dear God. So, multitasking. I am a person who listens to different people. Listening to different people, meaning that I am not constipated in my perception, meaning that whether someone is called bad, good, whatever, I'll try to see the gist of what they're saying. But at the same time, I have the understanding that even with listening, I should have discernment. And through different conversations that I've had, I've got to see different sides of life. I've come to notice that us ladies normally, most of the time, we judge the world with a single experience. Men do it too, but I'll stick to ladies. We have this one experience and we're judging everybody with that one experience. You have maybe situations with, it could be an example with a man, and you're judging all men with that experience. And one of the things I've come to realize, it's not that ladies are bad or anything. No, that's not it. It's that we're doing something that doesn't work. That leaves most of the ladies wounded. That leaves most of the ladies with a bitter taste in our mouth and experience. And maybe we leave something and we start another thing, leave something, start another thing, and we're changing people, but we're not changing ourselves. And because we're not changing ourselves, we are the same person and we're attracting similar experiences and then complaining, but not realizing to change the experience we have to change ourselves. If you're the same person, there hasn't been any growth, any reflection, any personal accountability and responsibility, you think all people are the same, or men, or companies, or whatever. So when people operate from this, which most ladies do, I see men too. When I'm hearing, I hear this thing of, I have experienced this. Hi, long time. How are you, Emmanuel? Story of my life. The drama is real. Yes, for real. So when I hear, I have also experienced stuff. And there was a time when I would always say, oh, this, I would hate the other or whatever. And not going into details, it's a long story. I got to see who I was and how I showed up, and my type drew certain experiences to me. And when I realized that my type, how I moved, I could see how I was a reciprocal of those experiences. And I wanted better. So I started looking for answers. And one thing I got to realize or experiences that I got to learn is that you experience the world as you are. And I keep on saying this, meaning that if you want different experiences, you have to work on you to attract better and a different quality. You don't go by your default settings. You don't go by, oh, it's my intuition. If you haven't trained yourself, you're going to draw the same thing all the time. And once I held myself accountable for my role in my experiences, hold on, I'm trying to work the live, so when Lindsay comes up again, trying to see if it can be better this time. I got to see how I was limited in my perception, and even back then, if someone came to say what I say now, I wouldn't listen. And these days when I talk, I have this awareness to say, the one who's ready will hear, the one who's not won't, and I'm fine with that. So if someone knows me, knows a bit of my history, knows a bit about just who I was, and if you actually saw me back then, when I say back then, maybe we're talking about 15 years ago or less, I don't know. One, I was a tomboy. Two, let me say this, and I know ladies get triggered. If there was such a thing as a masculine girl, I would take that badge. I would take that badge. Thought, moved like a guy, spoke everything. And my worldview, because I was always or mostly with my dad, and I was surrounded by his friends, the workshop, I was surrounded by, and men are very direct in their thought. So the way I would hear things is the way I would start thinking, is the way I would speak, and is the way I would move. And then when I look back now, especially with my new awareness, I could see how, oops, oh wait, I could see how the way I showed up attracted what I did. And now with the skill sets I've learned, the worldviews, the perceptions that I have, I take full accountability. But now I know how to vet people, and I do not tolerate anything that would lead me in a path, especially if I know the ending of something. I know most people, I never used to understand. I would think, why are people, for lack of better words, who are married very well, they're very quiet? Why is it that when someone creates a lot of wealth, they distance themselves? And I would judge that. What I didn't know is the belief systems that work with, and the things people learn when they're trying to create something or become something better. They'll see how the way they were, there are things there that keeps them down. There are things there that attract a certain kind of person. There are things that we are so blind within ourselves and we don't realize. Hi, Pudalicious. Hi, beautiful. If you want to join my live, you're more than welcome. So I got to see all this stuff. And to be honest with you, There are some things that I would do. Actually, when I see them, I've accepted myself fully. I did even back then. But I'm like, that is so embarrassing. Like, did I really do that? Did I say that? I would look at some things in the kuchito. Oh, the kunchito. So in the cafe. Okay, good. Gotcha. I've got TikTok here and I've got my Facebook here. So when I look at some things and I'm even like, oh my God, that is so embarrassing. But in my mind back then, it made sense. So one of the things that I noticed about myself, and when I see ladies, I tell them, but I know they don't like it, they don't hear it, because I understand being them, done that, whatever. I was so masculine, but hi, Bummy One, hi, how are you doing? I'm still a woman. In spite the way I moved, I'm still a woman. I am not a man. Even if I get that masculine thinking and whatever, I'm still a woman. And one thing I realized, because I was so much in my masculine, I was I was a go-getter. Go-getter, go. That's a masculine paradigm. And that's how I grew up. I could see how most of the situation, friendships and everything, I was like, for lack of better words, the muscle. I got to see that. I got to see how I would attract certain situations, because if something is not working, I would be the one to step forward to say, oh, this is not working, let's fix it, let's do this. I would initiate. Oh, you're in Zambia now, yay! No, Zesco, load shedding people. Kalaiva kamshwana kashupa, it's going off and on, eh? Kwatidi light, you load shedding. Sorry, Zambian people, making fun of you. Oh, but I'm glad. That's beautiful. I really enjoyed my time in Zambia. That's beautiful. So I got to see how most of us, especially if you're a go-getter as a lady, we do things and we hold on to things. And if you have resources, if you have stability, if you're fruitful to people, beneficial to people, you do things. So you just doing. But in that, what I couldn't see was that when people are getting something from you, you can't really see who they are. When people benefit from you one way or another, you can't see who they are. And sometimes when you're around people, you will realize that you will be doing the most. And if it's how you move when you're by yourself, you won't tell when other people are not doing that for you, because you don't need it from them. Through my downs and my failures, I got to see how I had surrounded myself with people who wouldn't do quarter of what I did for them. Not that if I do, then you should do for me, but I got to see how I gave people places and spots in my life and trophies because of proximity and proximity and maybe their role, not role, their title in my life. So I got to see that, and I'm like, oh, gotcha. Painful lesson, by the way, especially when you are not at your best. Painful lesson. And then I got to see all those things. I'm like, oh, now the mentor, the book I was reading, Build an Empire by Elena Cardone, is the thing we're going to discuss. And we're just going to discuss like different things and different chapter. I received mentorship from her, and I got to see through the framework and the structures that they have how most people in society, be it our friendships, marriages, whatever we do, we don't vet people. We don't vet people. And then if someone is selective with people, they've got names. and oh, they're bad, or they're a user, or they're this, and I got to see, I'm like, oh, I didn't do this. And because I was a go-getter, I was just focusing on doing what I need to do. So when I see, even when it comes to relationships, you know, maybe it's just an example, someone doesn't text, you text, someone doesn't call, you're calling, someone doesn't do, you're doing the thing. When I learned from a woman who's been married, not I don't choose marriage as a qualifier, because there are people who are miserably married. So for me, marriage is not a qualifier. For me, it's the depth. For me, it's the wisdom. For me, it's the peace in a home. A woman respecting a man appreciating and loving his woman. That understanding each other person's role. They're moving as a unit. So I got to see that, and I got to learn to say, oh, relationships have to have roles. And sometimes as ladies, especially if you got someone while you were masculine, and they like how you did things, they like how you would fill in the space and all that, if you stop, the relationship will fall most of the time. Not all the time, most of the time. And I got to see how who I was not fulfilling for me. So we would blame the others. And then I got to see that the people that I look up to and respect, where they've got the father, the children in the house, there's some kind of unit. They have systems, they use their strength, they use their zeal to protect outsiders from what they're creating and what they have. But I've seen most people are fighting their partner. All the energy, it's internal. So when I see that, I see it as, come on, that's just foolish, and I'll say it and people will get offended. Anyway, I'm going off the topic. I'm going left, right, center. But the point is, when you're surrounded by people you cannot stand and people you have to watch your back around, you always have to look over your shoulders. Backstabbing, backbiting, it may be friends. When you get a man or get married because you were fun together, had a good time together and all that, but you didn't vet for character, you didn't vet for character of a man, you didn't vet yourself. You'll find that a lady, even though she did what she did, when she's married, usually they think life will be better, but life gets better by design. It doesn't get better just because you want it to get better. It doesn't work like that. So if a lady is doing, they're like, no, but he's just watching. He doesn't help. He doesn't like. It's like, if a man marries you at a certain point and you show up a certain way, he's accepted that and he thinks that's who you'll be. The moment you're going down in your dips and all that, it's like, yeah, she's strong, she can manage. She's strong, she can manage. He doesn't call, he doesn't text, because you always did it. But the time you're like, but I want to feel loved, I want to feel all this. I had to also watch myself to be, oh, so who I was before, if this gap was there, I would do it. But the problem is, if you always move like that, you won't see if someone wants to be with you. A man always pursues who he desires. And sometimes when you're a lady and you're a go-getter, you won't realize someone is not even pursuing you. You're covering the gap. And the time you're with that person, you start experiencing, oh, why doesn't he do this? But I want him. It's like, yeah, he's there because some people chose you because they don't have to put effort and you lift the burden. And now that you're lifting the burden, you don't realize he didn't come to help you lift the burden. He chose you because you make it easier. So, one, you're surrounded by people you have invited around you, backstabbers, whatever. And some people you find that maybe the only thing you have in common is a beer. If you remove the beer, there is no character, there is no unity, there is no one who can have your back, there's no people who can pump wisdom in your head when you're going off rails, and you're always arguing. This one is arguing with that one, someone is sleeping with your man, and this, like, there's a lot of chaos. And trust me, there are many successful people who are in trauma because sometimes we surround ourselves with people who say what we want to hear. Sometimes we choose people who make it easier for us. We don't want someone who calls us on our crap. And one of the things I learned from my mentors is that when you have people, even if it's uncomfortable, and they understand where you're going and they see that you're going off base on what you're trying to do, they'll be like, my G, where are you? I had a live the other day and I was just talking about how I am foolish. I can be very foolish and childish, but I want to be foolish and childish with people with a brain. I want to be foolish and childish with people with character, good character, values, and morals. I want to be foolish with people who I know, like, they will not take my weakest moment and show it to the world or like trying to use that against me. That's how I think. So when I see a person move a certain way, I don't go off vibes. People like going off vibes. I don't care about vibes. We might vibe, we might have a good conversation, but if I see your character is iffy or somewhere, it's like, yeah, I'll be cordial, just like I am cordial with a snake when I'm at the zoo. I'll be cordial, just like I'm cordial with a lion. Hi, lion. We go in the wildlife. We're seeing lions. We're seeing crocodiles. Yes, but it looks good. It's exciting. Oh, my hat gets me excited. But I am cordial. So I didn't prepare to say all this, by the way. I'm just going, and I know I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place, but whatever. Leave me alone. I wonder if Paris wants anything. Paris, are you good? Paris? She must be upstairs. Anyway, one of the most important things about your life is the people you surround yourself with. Stop going off vibes. You're not in high school. You're not in primary school. God damn it. Because there you will just sit next to someone. You're in the same class, proximity, now you're friends. You go to the same club, now you're friends. When you grow up, character is important because you might be fighting for the same thing. You might be arguing for the same thing. So when people operate the way they operated when they were in nursery, I'm like, I did that, by the way. I did that. Most of the people I know, we did maybe a sport together, we were in class together or something. But when you grow up and you have alignment, you have direction, you choose carefully. Funny you say this. What did I say? I don't know. I don't know what I said. Girl, I'm just seeing your comment now. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing your comment now. So I came to a place where I saw that, let me tell you what, I love masculine men. I love ambitious men. I love a go-getter. Let me just say this. In my experience, maybe I'm broken. I might be broken. When I grew up, my dad had, we had buses and we would have men. Some were washing the buses, some were drivers, some were the bus conductors, some were mechanics. All men came to work. So growing up, all I saw is men working, whether it's shoveling, whatever, but tamanga, the men were doing something. That's in my psyche. It's deep. So I love a masculine, strong man. Someone ambitious. That's what I saw from my father. That's what I saw with every man. Even a person sweeping the floor. Man, doing something. So in my brain, I respect all jobs, but I see a man as someone strong. I see a man as someone who's capable. I see a man as someone to respect, because around every time when I was growing up, men made my life easier, our lives easier. They're doing something. So I may be broken, but in my brain, I can't just see a man as a dumb thing. I can't, because I saw them in a way they were always doing something. I love strong, ambitious men, masculine. And masculine, I'm not talking about 10-pack. I'm not talking about no, 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 no. Leadership, muntu wanti leadership. Quality, leadership. Yeah? Even if someone is a sweeper, even if they're doing the digging, what is this, pit latrines. But a man as a leader, a man that will do what needs to be done to fend for his family. And so I grew up seeing that and respecting that. So in my brain, when I see men who are supposed to be, who are straight, and they are soft and they are mushy, I cannot relate. I cannot relate, and I'm not drawn to that. But I got to realize that the way I was raised, because I was always around my dad, I was always very masculine. I got to realize I had a lot of friends growing up who would go back then, Wimpy or other places. I would buy the drinks. I would be there, and it never bothered me. I never thought much about it. So, now when I look back, or as I leveled up through my failures, I got to understand and I got to learn. Yes, Echo Pounds. I got to understand who I was. In spite growing up around men, I started acting like one, behaving like one, talking like one. That was my energy. I was a strong girl. And many guys were like, yeah. And I was drawn to that, like the strong men. But I realized only after that I wasn't a match for a masculine man, because a masculine man is not looking for someone like him. He's looking for a complementary of him. He wants someone feminine. He wants someone soft. He wants someone receptive. He doesn't want someone combative. So all the traits that I had, I loved them in men, but I wasn't a match for them. So I had to work on me. It's like you're going for a job or you're going to school, which everybody does, by the way. You go to school, you go to university if you like, you get a job because you want to better your life. So you learn a certain skill set so that you can have those results. So I learned what I desired and what I wanted doesn't come with who I was showing up as. And I was very tired, I was very drained, and I was very bitter, very traumatized. But then I got to see how who I was could not produce what I desired. But I had to fall to realize there's something wrong. So I talk with many ladies, especially on the TikTok streets, and I know that I piss people off, but I've come to understand until someone falls, really falls, and they're like, I want something better. When I speak, if I'm speaking to just a regular, they'll get wounded because us ladies are very strong-willed, we're very stubborn, and we defend our ideas. And if we believe that this is what should be accepted, even if it doesn't work, we defend it. Been one of those, been there, done that. So I see it. And because I come out a certain way, I know that I'm attacking everything that the person has invested their life in. But it's not like what they have is wrong. But if you're like me and you were spoiled seeing masculine men, leaders in men at all levels, and if you do desire that, you have to be the opposite, because it's like a magnet positive and negative. Now, I know when people experience me, they'll find me very dismissing. If a man is showing up in his feminine and is showing up on who I want to be, it's not my job to change another person or argue or attack them. Everyone should be what they want. There's free will. But I am not a reciprocal, and I just can't. I can't deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I want a man who's comfortable, leading, responsible, accountable for himself. If I am with him, I'll benefit from his disciplines, his choices, not me choosing a person and then trying to change them. And I see really ladies are doing this. And one thing I got to see, and when I was reading actually the book, Elena, Build an Empire, I could also see it in the book where it's like, we ladies usually make decisions out of feelings. And we don't vet people. And we'll say, oh, but I love him. Oh, I love him. He betrayed me. Yeah. But you're like, man, the person just did what they wanted. I've come to see how most ladies, when we do something, it's coming out of revenge, out of hurt. I'll see most men doing the same thing. If a man usually is doing it, maybe it's his nature or he just wants to. Not that he's doing it to make another person feel some kind of way. It's just who he is. So if a lady can start looking at men, have the capacity to vet a person, actually see them and how they're showing up, most problems will be gone. But then to vet another person, you can only see people as far as you see yourself. You can only understand others to the depth of which you understand yourself. And most ladies, when it comes to reflection and accountability, inner reflection, seeing how we contribute to what happens in our life, seeing our role and how we show up, if we can't do that, how are you going to see the other? There's a live I was on, and I was talking about how I would like a selfish man, masculine and selfish. He should selfishly want to be a father, selfishly want to be a husband, selfishly want to improve his life because it's what he wants for himself. And if he desires me or we're together, I don't have to start teaching him what I think he should be doing because he desires those for himself. I benefit from his discipline and his choices for himself. I carry myself a certain way. If that person is with me, they'll benefit from being with a lady who has integrity, not because of him, but because that's the standard I hold myself to. But most people don't realize, which I also didn't realize, they have feelings for a person, they're in love with their type. And just because you're in love, you have these feelings in your body, and you think just because you have these feelings, now the other person should start acting to your principles and your values, even if they don't have them, just because you have these feelings. And I would think, oh, men are doing this person's doing. It's like people will do what they want to do. A man will do what he wants to do, whether you like it or not. It's not even about you. It's just who they are. And if they haven't created that discipline for themselves, that value structure for themselves, that goal, that vision on how they want to show up, you loving them doesn't change them. And you find ladies crying here, and I'm like, man, been there, done that. I have seen most ladies who are bitter and resentful in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're still, and I'm like, they haven't learned it? They haven't realized it? We have to learn to choose better. But before choosing better, we have to become better. Before choosing, I've seen that most ladies and most people, even men, most ladies, most of the time, even if they have a good marriage or success, it's accidental. So the person is always in fear. Oh, dear God, protect me, dear God, please, please, protect me. Oh, I'm like, listen, even if you have something and for somehow you have luck, your karma is good, you have good things, good for you. We'll learn from you guys. But if things are not working for you, start looking for people who things are working for and learn. And you'll see that sometimes you will have to act in ways where with you it doesn't come like common sense. With you it doesn't come like, okay, the right thing. Because if you're only going by your ways, by your type, trauma, you'll be crying left, right, center. And this is another problem I've seen with most ladies. Oops, yikes, hold up, I'm coming. I moved. Hold up. I'm calmly putting things back. Calmly. There we go. Oh, yeah. Most ladies are looking for support and people to agree with them. I don't know if it's the lack of how I grew up. I always look for people to show me blind spots. Always. I always did. I would be crying and explaining, and I would say, show me what I can't see. It's my default thinking. And there's a damage inside to it, and there is a good side to it. The damage inside that people would see is I'm always critical of self. The good thing about it, and this came from my father, is whenever something happened, he would say, hold on, I'm trying to turn on this light. He would say, what would he say? He would say, what did you do? So my inner dialogue when something happens is, what did I do? What was my role? I would always ask myself that. So no matter what's going on, I would always want to see my role. And every time I talk to a person, even when I didn't even understand what I was doing, I would say, this is happening, and I would say, show me what I can't see. What did I miss? Because I never thought of myself as a know-it-all. I never thought of I don't think of myself as someone who has all the answers. So even when someone is talking, I have this ability and capacity. I have the capacity to listen to a person, to try and see what they're saying, trying to understand them. Now, even when I go on the TikTok streets, I do face this. I do see that most ladies, we listen to respond, we don't listen to try and understand. And I've got to see how just going by people who make you feel comfortable, it's like you recreate the same drama over and over and over and over and over. And because I had obviously my falls and all that, I don't want to repeat some stuff. So I open my ears and I listen to learn. And when I listen, sometimes I'll see someone is talking maybe on a level that I've already surpassed in my growth, in my learning. I'll see maybe their lack or loopholes in what they're saying. And sometimes someone will say something I didn't think about, and I'll research on that. I enjoy it. To me, it's fun. But it took me falling and being in different uncomfortable situations for me to be able to look at things like that. So whenever I see, especially ladies, oh, my type, tall, green eyes, tall, dark and handsome, I'm like, in my perception, I'm like, that's dumb. That's dumb. When someone is when a relationship is ended and when people are divorcing, tall, the color of it doesn't matter. It's superficial. So just going by your type is your karma. And to change your karma, to change your experiences, you have to learn to see character. You have to learn to see what you want in your life. And just like you learn with school and education, you have to learn how to show up in ways that you have what you want. Or you just accept who you are, where you are, and when things happen, accept what comes with it. Um, Lindsay's supposed to come on live. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's why I had my laptop here. And I put that away. Got my TikTok and I got this. Hold on. So there are people, even on TikTok, there are people who I might have a shared history with, but how they think, oh my God. If you hang around people who've got nothing to defend, nothing to protect, they are so reckless. They're so reckless. And if you find people who've got substance or something that they love and they're mindful, especially if they built it consciously, you see they don't just accept anything and anyone. So, character. And if you're already married and you're in a marriage with someone, how can you learn to show up better? How can you do things that is the inner war, inner dialogue? How can you come to a place where you have acceptance and love within your heart? Even if it's not for the other person, for yourself. God damn it. Like, how can you come to that? So, I like surrounding myself with people who, if there are loopholes in what I'm doing, I want people to show me. I want to be stupid with people, do silly stuff with people who I know there's a brain beat. There is something there. Also, I don't want to use the word protecting, but having fun or being silly is not the highlight of their life. That's very important. Surrounding yourself with people who know they have your back. Surrounding yourself with people, especially, you have to have circles. There has to be circles. There's inner circle, there's outer circle, there's outer circle. Like don't allow people to get close to you because of proximity or who they think they are in your life. Have people close to you because even if they have your back. The people who are around you are the one who are telling your story out there. So you don't think in terms of sister, brother, cousin, mom, dad, blah, 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 neighbor, dog, whatever. It's when I'm not in the room and these are people telling my stories, how are they painting me? And once you know this, it becomes so easy to cut off people and put them at a distance. It becomes so easy because then you're not moving in feelings. You're just like, okay, I know we're supposed to be cool like that. Society says, this and this. But sometimes people think of us a certain way or perceive us a certain way because of people we have in our inner circle. And those people are creating your story. Those people are creating an image on you and of you. Sometimes we have people around us who, when we're not in the room, they paint us the most horrible way. The most horrible way. And if you keep company with people who Maybe you have a good time, you have fun, but when you're not in the room, what are they saying about you? I've experienced this from the time I was very young. So even when I experience it now, it may be on the internet or in person, been there, done that. I don't take it personal. I just cut. I just cut. I don't explain. I don't start making speeches. I'm just like, assassin. That's what I do. But if I know someone is for me, and if I know like we are aligned in one way or form, either with values or even like, I don't have time to start gossiping or trolling down a person. I don't have time for that. People who, this is something, let me just say this. I just remember this. So there's something I've been wanting to say, but I haven't had like the framework to say it. I really need to learn how to cut people easily. This one is tough, and let me say something. When I went back to Zambia, there's something I never considered, and sometimes you get to see things in a different light. There is a small town thing, and there's a big city thing. So, like, if you go to rural areas in the US, or you go to small towns, people are different than when you're in the city in New York. In the city, what I'm saying is like common sense. So you will see like some people, you know, they don't make your problems their business and whatever. Like people are nonchalant. But in a small town, because you see the same people all the time and all that, you'll find that saving face is very important. And if you've grown in your town and you're always around the same people you went to school with, whatever, no matter how much you grow, they have an identity of you and a certain way you are, and they'll all you have to carry yourself in a certain way. So one thing I got to realize is there is personalities which are small town thing, and there's personalities which are big town thing. When you're around people who are small town thing, they're getting to see their peers, some die, some grow, some whatever. And sometimes in their mind, people have this thing where to be better, you put down one. There's like scarcity in their mind, scarcity, like whatever. And they have to put down others to look better than. And in small town think you find that people tend to like do a lot of gossip in a sense where everybody knows everybody's business. That's small town thing, by the way. Big town like the for lack for lack of better examples, like New York. I'm looking at New York. When I see this, New York is the side, so I keep looking at the side. New York, maybe people would discuss like celebrities and all that and whatever, but it's like their neighbor, nobody cares. So I've seen people with small town think it's very hard because you can't cut down someone because somewhere maybe that person is the daughter to your teacher and you got the same church and they have this belief, they operate from this belief of unity. Whether someone stabs you in your back, no, but you know, you're not a good person, or you have to be a good person. Oh, character. They'll use the same words I'm using, but they are twisted. You'll see someone who, maybe all your old friends, it's just an example. All your old friends, maybe one is stealing, one is like a junkie, one is this, one is this. And maybe you're creating a business. You're starting a family. But because you're in the same town, you can only relate to them in a time and space when you were together, maybe same class, maybe you would go and drink together. So with the moment you outgrow that, you learn to pretend. I never thought about this. I've always had a don't care thing, but now that I've grown and I've got to understand a lot, I can see now I'm like, oh, like people, even the friends you have, you've changed. These people, it's like, because they see the limitations of a certain way of acting, a certain way of being. Some people are fathers. Some people are preachers. Some people are going to be the future pioneers. But because You knew them in a way that you're still growing up, you're in high school, you would jump, you always want to talk about those stories. It has nothing to do with their vision. So people in small town think, and small town, I've grown to wear masks and show what is acceptable in that society. But it's so painful. I failed, man. I didn't feel it was tough for me. It was tough. I would be with some people who they might have the car, they might have the house, they might have the things, but the person hasn't grown. And I got to see how, and it was so amazing. I got to see how, yeah, if you're looking at things that, oh, neighborhood, they move, but there's no one there. Yeah, they can earn the money. And then there is this thing that I understand, and it's like just because someone has money doesn't mean they're evolved in their thinking. They're just better at earning that money. They've become better at it. But the person, there's no character development. There's no, and when you're around those people, you can only, so if you used to drink together, you can only talk about drinking, that's it. But they don't know how to see you as a father, as a husband. And sometimes, if you're with your spouse, they'll say, Badi Badisha, he's simping. He's simping. That happens when I visit old friends. It's always about the old day. Always about the old days. There's no talk about vision. There's no talk about growth. There's no talk about opportunities. There's no how can we have dialogue. Yeah, you can talk about the old days. Catch up. What next? What next? And people don't know. They don't know. And I look at it and I'm like, stuff. I think one of the things that helped me grow, it has its weaknesses as well, but one of the things that helped me grow, I know it won't sound nice. I don't care. I've never cared. Hey, hi. What's up? Nothing? Have you eaten? Yes. I see you've been cooking. I see flour on your dress. Did you make a pancake? No. You've made, oh, cool. That's good to know. So I've had these experiences where, if I see something is not making sense for me, let's go say it. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I don't care, but if I see something that doesn't make sense, I'm not loyal to ignorance. I'm not loyal to even my own ignorance. As long as there's something about me and it's really an impediment or it's really a blind spot. Jokes aside, I like to grow. I want to learn. So I could never relate with people who are clinging on something that's short-sighted or clinging on ignorance. I see it as ignorant, and I could never understand. I'm like, that is so dumb. And this is a thing I got to experience as well. I've seen most dumb people are very talkative and they've got such strong personalities and characters. Dumbness, strong character, and talking a lot. That combination. And they know it all. Obviously, that's how they became dumb, because they think they know it all. So they are defending their ignorance and they think their ignorance is. And I got to see, I'm like, huh, hey, huh, how? How? And also the small town thing, there is room for abundance for everyone. You don't have to put down one person for you to be better. You don't have to showcase another person's downfall for you to be on top. You don't have to do that. But I noticed that small town think, like this is a thing for small town kind of think mindsets. It's almost in their spine. They're always trying to tear down another person. I can't relate. I can't relate. You would see for the TikTonians, we want TikTok, Facebook, I don't know, because this is my private Facebook, so obviously it doesn't have everybody. But you will see how it's too common in Z community. It is. It is. It is, definitely. You would see how in most conversations and people you will find, watch this. Just find who, when I'm not around, if this person was going to walk into a room, what's going to be the perception of people? What's people going to think of me? Don't look at sister, brother, uncle, mother, dog, daughter, neighbor, crocodile, hippo. Don't look at all that. Just that. And then with that, that's one of the ways you vet your inner circle. And how you drop people off. Dropping people off, you don't have to go by speech. You don't have to do speeches. Oh, now I'm leaving you. Oh, now I'm going. No, 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 no. Oh, now it's you don't have to do. That's a lot of energy. That energy can be used to making yourself beautiful or make money. You choose what you say around those people, and when you have things that are important that are happening in your life, project, anything, create some distance. The one thing you don't want around your children, the one thing you don't want around what you're creating, your vision, your goals, is haters around it. Bad energy. You don't want that around. So you don't have to make those speeches. You just know how to. So like, for example, the moment I catch someone speaks of me a certain way or whatever, especially if I just catch it, so I won't go back and forth. I'll just know, like, okay, you stay there, crocodilo. I'm a chicken. I don't want to be eaten. I know I'm prey. You're a predator right now. I don't want to play this game with you. Yes, I'm chicken. I'm going to be eaten. But if I'm going to be eaten, it's going to be by my husband, someone I'm married to, and they'll eat me in a nice way where I'm smiling, and then I have these hormones, but it won't be by a hater. Nobody got time for that. I don't have time for that. So in most cases, other people are used to keeping people around them who hate them, people around them who gossip about them, people around them who cannot stand their life, people around them who are waiting for their downfall. So if you show up in those areas and you're not comfortable or you don't sit with their disrespect, people can't understand it. They can't understand it. If I know, in spite of what you say, the pictures you paint, but I have that sniff, that you're moving like a crocodile, hippo. The problem with me is I don't even save face. I don't play safe face. So if someone doesn't like me, in spite of what they're saying, I'm getting their energy. I'm getting how they're moving. I don't have time for that. I will not play that game. Maybe if we have a contract and you're working from that side and we have to somewhere work together, but even if I can, I'll try not to even work with you. So you don't have to make speeches. You just understand. So like for an example, I had on TikTok here, I've got Facebook here and I've got TikTok here. There's this person, Apostle M, we talk on TikTok all the time. Many men of God have come across and we've butted heads. But him, when we talk, he's not trying to sell anything, not trying to whatever. It's like a brother. The way I would speak to my brother. It's just a human being. There's a soul behind that. It's the way we connect. It's the way we talk. So I'm able to see him as a human being and I'm able to hear him, and he also has that accord with me so we can interact. And then thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. And then there is, right now I'm looking at Echo Bounce here on TikTok and we may have conversations, good, whatever. And there's some people I'll go to. This is a concept that most people don't understand. Let me share it right now. I'm going to say it. Most people don't understand, and if they don't, I would urge you to look into this. It's good for your personal development. You can understand a person and disagree with them. Most ladies have this problem. I'm just saying, most ladies have this problem. I'm not going to say on men. I'm a woman, so I can teach a woman. I'm a lady, I cannot make a man. A man listens to a man he looks up to and respects. And maybe as a friend, he can listen, hear something like, oh, that makes sense. But I speak to women most of the time. I can understand a person, but still disagree with what they're doing. Understand is just seeing like, oh, I see why you would do this, or why you would think this way. I understand it. But just because I understand it doesn't mean I agree with it. There are some people here who, you people are weird. You people are just weird. You're effed up. Let me just tell you. There are some people who don't understand. You know, technology has done something that obliterates the boundaries we had. There are some people who will come across me here, who I'll come across, who would have never met in real life. And even if we passed each other, we wouldn't even notice each other's existence. But technology, we have these people meeting. There are people who don't have a backbone. There are people who don't understand character. There are people who don't understand respect. There are people who don't understand being cordial with a person, who don't understand, oh, it's like also your parent, like your father. I can understand what my parent is saying, but I disagree. I don't have to insult, I don't have to talk down to them. Some people don't realize that, and they'll talk to people in a way that if you don't if you don't agree with their thinking, then you're an enemy. If you don't understand them, then you're an enemy. I can understand. This is the thing. That's why we choose also character. That's why we vet people. Let me just say this. If someone is a thief, Kawalala is thief in Bemba. Most thieves get taken out. Most thieves. Not everybody, mostly. If someone is always lying and there is always drama, normally you find that around them, no matter what's happening, there's always drama. So I may understand a certain thinking, but I may not agree or want the results that a certain thinking does. So I may understand it, but just because I understand it doesn't mean I'm going to be with you all the time. But I'll respect you with your nonsense. I'll respect you to say, no, that's their part. To them, that's valuable. We are all different. We can have a dialogue here, 1, 2, 3, but at the end of the day, bye, we're done. Some people here, that comes with maturity. Oh, okay. Oh, I never thought about it like that. Some people I've seen this with ladies and I've seen this with men, but I'll stick to ladies. Some people are just looking for people to validate their stupidity. I'm not one of them. I can't. I don't validate my own stupidity. I don't validate my own shortcomings. I'm always looking to grow. So if I know, it's just an example, you're a lady, and you as a lady, every time you're having fun, seeing different men all the time, as a lady, if I don't want that around my child, I can understand everything you're doing, maybe the situation, but if I don't want that around my child, I have a little girl, you can't be close to me, even if you're a good person. Character. If someone is a man and they're looking for women, kusherela, just for a good time, different, they're just looking like that. If you come in my world and the only value you put on women is you being able to fall between there, I won't be a good match. It's going to be repelling to me. It won't work. And if that's how you move all the time, I wouldn't want to associate, even if we have great conversations and deep, I don't want to associate with you because ultimately, there is guilty by association. People will judge me with who I stick around with. So in my inner circle, you can't fit. You're not polished enough. If someone is your high school friend, they don't take responsibility and accountability. You give them opportunities, whatever, and they're squandering all the opportunities. And it's the same thing for the past 15 years. They can be in the inner circle, but you don't have to make speeches. You just know, like, if something is very precious to you, no, you can't come close to it, because anything you touch, you squander, because there is no accountability and responsibility. That's where growth comes from, introspection. I would like people who, it's just an example. Let's say we're going out. I've got I may have a loose switch there. I don't think it's a loose switch, but having fun, we're dancing, we're having a good time, oh, let's go, ooh, whatever. We're taking pictures. Maybe it's just an example. I'm not saying it's happening. I have a skate like this. It's just an example. And I'm dancing. Maybe, oh, my leg goes, oh, picture. If I'm around people my call, and you see, that's something you should delete. But there are some people, it's just an example, by the way. There are some people who take the worst, embarrassing, or your lowest moments, and they want to push that out, and that's going to be their entertainment, and they're your friends. I can't do it. I can't. Where is Lindsay? I haven't seen Lindsay. If I see her, I'll try to add her, and then we'll go about this. But I haven't seen her. But she had a meeting, so I'm sure that was dragging. Doing lives is it's very consuming. Most of the times when I'm around people, I don't talk much a lot. I like to listen. I like to have a good time. So the way you're experiencing me, if we were in the same place right now, I wouldn't be, for lack of better words, preaching. Nobody wants a preacher. But just talking about human nature. There are some dumb things that us ladies do, and they're so dumb, by the way. Where we say we want this, we want that, we want this, but we never evaluate to say ourselves, if this thing came in front of us right now, are we even ready for it? No? I've talked a lot. I'm tired. TikTok, does anyone want to join my live? I'm gonna find another live. I was supposed to have Lindsay on, so this wasn't supposed to. I'm tired. Hi, Uncle Deuce. If someone at Echo Bounds, if you wanna come in, please come in. Mukolomino. Oh, there we go. Hi, Echo Bounds. Nanaka. Nalanda sana. Too much preaching.
Hey, I've been listening. I felt like I went for therapy, and they're like, "Hey, how does this go?"
Oh my God! Hi,
Kashana, I'm so proud of you. The man know Nova Kashana, especially from Zambia, that can speak like that, and very very eloquent and very just to the point. You're just hammering, and it's like our behavior so very well, especially on this social media. I like the fact that you just nailed everything. Everything that you said, I was following. I went to pick my son. He was playing football, so I decided to put you on, and him too was listening. So he was asking, Dad, what is Kushelela?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Corey.
Yeah, that's why I don't.
So, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you, my brother?
I'm good.
But anyway, I'm so delighted. Connie, Awe, you I think we are proud to be in your circle, some of us, and we are so happy.
Actually, everybody.
Yes, we are beneficiaries from whatever you have said. Adu shumfwa. katuishi atmanda sha mchibemba to comfort mkwa because you have said it all and no mwandi awangalande because we are social media has really changed people and has really exposed people. When people don't agree with you, you become an enemy. I was like, yeah, she knows. When you have a different, when you have a different opinion, instead of respecting that opinion, or you have a different mindset, but when you are an enemy or they start avoiding you. Mamona. So you just nailed it. I like the fact that you mentioned those things, and I hope that everyone. It was just not women you were speaking to, my dear. You were speaking to everyone, including us men. We are also in the social circle, and we see what goes on. Zambians, especially kuli fufwema Zambia n'abaikala mu diaspora. Yeah, kwati nalimo we hit the jackpot. Yeah. Abantu besu from where we are coming from. Okuba mwena mugwata tawakwata anything they say nishi they are backwarded or tabasambirira or I don't know. But you just opened up and it's a very good way of ending this year, Monday. I wish you could re-record or play this again for the benefit of those who missed your live. Otherwise, let me end here by saying Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uncle Deuce.
You know what, Uncle Deuce? I've been on social media now. I joined this. It's just been like 4 months now, and within 4 months, I've noticed and gone through like hurricanes. Oh my gosh! And then some situations where it would spin me around. Like, you step back. I'm like, is this how life is on this life thing? Like everything hits you like within a week. Like, I had to learn so quick. And then try to adjust things, and then how I socialize with people. Yeah. And Connie, I don't know if you've taken anything to do like psychology of people things in those lines, like how can I put it? Anything to do with psycho people.
In short, credential Connie.
No. I don't want to do that. I'm being very careful. Uncle Juice, I'm being very careful.
Connie.
No. More like therapy. Do you do anything in those lines? That's why I wanted to ask. Like,
is she a therapist? Are you a psychologist?
No, something like that. I didn't want to ask her like what you do.
Okay, so
Okay, cool.
but apart from that, also like I've learned quite a lot, but I've realized that it's not just learning, it's also inbuilt wisdom. Yeah. And then also just being able to like learn and see my shortcomings, also knowing that I don't know it all. And every time I'm around people, I would assume that she so I would always like watch and listen. And then afterwards, maybe after listening, I like, how come they don't see this? Like, how come, and before I used to think like maybe I'm going mad. But then now I've come to understand to say, okay, like that's just the way people are.
No, mano actually, and I think we should thank the people that are behind that education.
Thank you.
That pushed you as the parents and the way they raised you. and the experience in life, because sometimes life teaches us a lot, and you are not afraid to share what you know and what you have learned in life, and that's the beauty of you. And you're very courageous, my dear. You're very courageous. Tepa shiripa kuleka.
You know, let me
You know,
just.
I think really also plays a part to situations like this.
I'll be listening. Let me just park the car. I'll be listening. I'll be in the background.
Okay.
Uncle Juice, are you one of those people who reduce the volume when you're trying to parallel park?
You know, Ganesha reverse. The car is it's the volume here because of that T sound.
Okay, yeah. You know,
all right.
My father can't reverse or parallel park with volume on. He will just reduce the volume and then does that.
That's on a happy note, Chimochi Nenoksta. That on the happy note, on the funny note, it's like a Chimochi Nenoku. You want to sneeze at the same time you are peeing. Can't happen.
Last.
Anyway, I have something nature than that. I'll keep it to myself.
All right. Okay, let me be in the back.
Okay. But you know, let me just say another thing. Like, this is another experience that I had, and I think it's really helped me, but I never thought about it the way I just thought right now. Every time I'll be around my dad and his colleagues and clients, right?
Yeah.
So since I was involved in sales, I would have to have dialogue with grown men who are fathers, grandfathers. They're respected in their homes and in society. But when we are negotiating, it would be intense about discount of a part or a car. Intense?
Oh, so you mean business-wise?
Yes, business-wise. So I would have that intensity, and I'm able to have it when I'm having dialogue. But I would have that dialogue, and I would still see this is a grown man. He's someone's husband. He's someone's father.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just an example, MP or something. So I would talk to different people, and if I met them outside, in spite what may have been said in a negotiation, I would understand this is someone's father. This is, respect, especially Mweba women. But then on TikTok here, TikTok streets, me even doing this, or social media, not social media, social.
Yeah.
There are some women who they're coming from homes where there's no structure. Even men. And like I said, they've only seen a person. The access they've had maybe to people who are, for lack of better words, may be powerful, or they may have something they're building. They've only seen them, Johnny, behind closed doors in the bedroom. So they don't realize how to relate to people in public. They don't know how to have like a combination and be respectful. And they come from a place where, especially if you're always around Zambians, always around the people you grew up with or whatever, small time thing, they still have the mindset that they have to put someone down
for them to go up.
Or if they've got nothing going for themselves, there is no vision, there is no whatever, their only topic is people. Because there's nothing else to discuss. Who slept with who did, it's like, how does that empower you? And if you have something going for yourself, seriously, or you're somebody's father, even if it's not money and wealth and whatever, there are certain conversations where people will talk to you like you're nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
If you look at those same people talking, you look at them, you're like, and you could take it there. You could take it there, like you can really like drag them down, and you're like, but at the end of the day, what does it do for me? So sometimes I'll take one person as an example. I'll take it all the way. Like if you do a slap, I'll bring the machete. I'll bring your ancestry. I'll bring everything because now it's an example you have to be taught. And then you're going to run and tell everybody, and oh, she's bad. She's like, yeah, but just no, leave her alone. You need examples.
You take it and note out.
No, you have to. You know, some people don't understand, and I experienced this in Zambia, and it was very painful, by the way. I would go in a store, and I would try to be respectful and cordial and be polite.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Like, Rafwaya, like, you talk down on them or you show authority over them or power over them for people to listen. I'm like, oh my God, that is so sad.
Hey, Connie, you know what? Before I forget, you say that. You know, so I was dealing with some people in Zambia, some business-wise. And I came to realize that these people are used to be talked down on. And when you try to like engage with them in a very casual, like understanding way, they start like trying to think like they can outsmart you, trying to steal things and all that. Like, no. I'm supposed to be like this with you. But I think they're so used in being talked down to. Or like,
even the police, anywhere you go, like people want, like you have to speak. And I'm like, how?
Yeah. I realized that. And
oh, wow. And how did it go for you?
I had to switch back. I had to change. You know, when I got there, I could see my cousin acting in a certain way. So I was like, hey, why do you treat people like this? So I was like, you know what? If you let these people, you give them an inch, oh, they're going to run over you. So I never believed that. And as I stayed there for 3 weeks, then it hit me like, okay, so if you don't act like this, they won't take you as a boss, you know, stuff like that.
Yes, but also this is a sad thing I got to learn, and let me just say this. I got to realize that because Zambia was colonized, there is master to subject consciousness. So if you don't show up as a master, they can't listen, which was very sad.
Yeah, it is.
Very sad. That's very belittling. But it's the only way you get stuff done. Even like when you go, you say, I want to speak to them. Like people don't know their rights there. So you have to show someone how limited they are for you to make a request. I'm like, that is so sad.
I know. It was like, it was an aha moment for me. Because I thought, like, you know what, I'm going to treat these guys like in a very well manner. No.
It doesn't work.
If you do that, they will run all over you. Yeah.
And I got to see how most ladies are very masculine in Zambia. That's why Ina found the solution. People, you heard it here. Ina, I'm just good for marriage. I'll keep quiet. Just do the masculine thing, like be the one talking, negotiating, because I don't want to argue in every store and everything. I need to have a man who's got things handled.
Yeah.
Because at the end, you see my wives, if you see their faces, like you can't get anything done. And the same energy.
Hold on, can you explain to me, Connie, what do you mean, like the women are masculine?
Okay, I'm trying to think of how I can frame it. Okay. So women are very combative.
Okay.
And they believe, most of the time they believe that the money or the job or the degree or the business is what makes them worthy. So they take the degree thing. They take that energy of thinking, and I see it a lot, of saying, oh, now I'm an equal to a man, and they would want to move like a man, but a man still remaining a man. And I'm like, no, that's emasculated. No man with money and choices and options is going to deal with that.
No.
If a man is in the battlefield, he wants respect, he wants softness, so you can be smart, but use your smartness on yourself, like the way I'm talking. Enough for me. I'm just saying for people on Facebook. I'm just saying, enough for me. Alashilanda, I am good people. This is just me on social media. I will even let go of social media. I want debate. no matter if I think what you said is I don't even correct. There are ladies who you find because they're educated in front of their friends or without a no understanding, they're trying to correct a man. If a man has power, opportunity, even if he's wrong, no one is looking to be corrected in front of others.
I know, that's true.
You never see a first lady. You will never see a first lady correcting the president in front of people. Maybe they might do it in the bedroom. But there is a man, there is a man outside and there is a man. So like also surrendering, like for example, surrendering, which most ladies have a big problem with. It's like
What's that word actually, especially?
Submission.
Surrendering and oh, the sorry.
The S word, submission. When ladies hear this, even the nose start flaring like this. It's like, there are many steps that most ladies miss, and they want to challenge their partner. But a man is supposed to be a pillar. A man is supposed to be the one who protects you, and you cannot be fighting your protector. It's like you're going to war. There is a general, and you are the soldier, and you start fighting your general, and not you fight outsiders. You don't fight your person. So most ladies, like, I have to see something and then I'll catch it because no one has done anything here and I didn't think about it. It's like ladies also thinking, wanting to be the man. You
guys brought this feminism thing, and you've run with it in different angles, like different directions.